one. We are live. Hello.
Hey.
Welcome to Fishburner Live, episode number 30 something.
Already?
We'll find the
Wow, we're well into the series. I think I was on like number 4.
Question for you. Well done for the on-stage event.
Thank you very much.
Well, facilitation and then lots of questions. What was your favorite question?
I liked the one about inequality and making sure that inequality and making sure that we're creating a fair
playground.
playground.
Were you satisfied with the answer provided by the panelists?
Yes, I think
the question was. Let's repeat the question. The question was, AI getting better and better. Would AI exacerbate the inequality of the society?
Will it like create a bigger divide between the rich and the wealthy versus the not?
Yep.
And I really liked their approach in terms of the questions, particularly in the fact that AI really is an enabler.
Yep.
And so I think both sides of that coin is that it enables, it can be enabling for bad problems, but it also is enabling for good problems, or for solutions as well. And I think AI is a really great application for diversity. Obviously, there's questions when it comes to the databases and making sure that that in itself is a whole other ethical issue and playing ground that we'll have to, I guess, monitor. But yeah, in terms of accessibility and those sorts of things, I really liked their approach and I thought it was a good answer.
So who picked the topic tonight for this mixer event?
I'm not sure. I think it was Sabrina. It was Sabrina. A conversation between those guys. So, yeah.
I see. Fantastic. And this is the first time I see a Fishburner event specifically for the Gen Z demographic.
Correct.
Why is that?
Gen Z, or I think just the startup, or a big approach of what we're doing right now at Fishburners is trying to make the pathways to entrepreneurship really, really clear and available. So, and of course, a really big part of that is making that available from a young age. Right now, we're seeing a generation of digital natives. We're seeing, more and more programs come from students, and these young entrepreneurs. We really want to be able to foster that innovation and build those skills early because we think we know how important those sort of skills are and how useful they can be for people's careers.
Exactly.
A big, obviously, Fishburners is really fostering, new depths of innovation and obviously technology as well. So for us, this whole event was really about creating and sort of cementing that pathway and creating a bit of community and connection from that earliest point. I don't think we're going to stop just here at Gen Z, or we're going to start working with schools and stuff like that.
Obviously, there are different age group demographic for founders and early stage founder or corporate migrants.
Right.
Now the question is, how often will this Gen Z event happen at Fishburner?
They will be happening again. So
the title say is a monthly community mixer.
Correct.
Yep.
And now I'm not sure if the monthly community mixer refers just to the Gen Z.
Okay.
Right? We are having, when we're not having pitch nights, we'll have pitch nights once a month, and then when we're not having the pitch nights, those Fridays will be used, those second Fridays in between will be used for a community mixer. But we're definitely having more Gen Z events, and our partners with obviously early work and everyone like that is really great.
Two of the guests give me very deep impression tonight. One is Paul, right behind here. We will talk to him next because his presentation title is We are F1. We are F1.
F-bombed.
And then I like the position that Sam, the source-speaking expert.
Yes, he's
an AI software technology expert. He put it very nicely. Excel doesn't remove the job of accountant, but Excel spreadsheet enhance the services of accountants since day one.
It's true, and I think there's so many human aspects that AI will never be able to replace. The question about will it replace a technical co-founder made me laugh.
That's
because
right. That was a good conversation.
I think so. I think it's funny because I feel like there's a lot of perception around humanizing AI. It's still just a language model. It's still just a database. It doesn't need rights. It's not a person. I feel like people tend to give it very humanistic characteristics, and then you can fall into a trap of overestimating its ability, because don't get me wrong, particularly ChatGPT-4 and that whole data and everything like that is really big. But there's still things that humans can't replace. I think it's really important to continue with soft skills, connections, people, people AI can't attend this event. So,
that's right.
so yeah, I really liked Sam's approach with that and saying
For those
that
people who just discovered this video on YouTube and want to find out what is it all about, how do they find you? How do they find Fishburner?
Fishburners, you can visit our website. It's
Link in the description below. Yes.
Fishburners.org. It's very easy.
Yep.
And yeah, there's lots of different ways that we can support and help. We've got a virtual platform. We have obviously our physical community. We run all of these events and everything like that. So there's literally endless ways to get involved. And as I said up on stage, there's no better time to be a founder or to start your own business. No one else is you don't get promoted to founder. No one's, it's only you that can make that happen. So if you've got a little thing you're working on the side, do please come join us. We'd love to have you along. So.
And just to show the background here, this one, we still have maybe close to 50 or 60 people out of. It was close. It was more than 160 people in the room.
We had about 200 tickets sold. Couple of about 15-20%. So about 160, 180.
160 people in the room. There are still about 60 or 70 people still networking actively here.
Absolutely.
And they are most likely looking for co-founder or sharing ideas,
jobs, recruitments. I think everyone has a really unique offering a position to have at Fishburn in the ecosystem. Young people have a really great opportunity, so events like this is really good for all of that.
Congrats, Majella.
Thank you, man. It's great to be back.
I remember your name correctly this time. No calling the wrong name. Congrats, Majella, for running a successful event. Let's roll to Paul.
Thank you so much. Thanks, man.
Oh, come on. Take a seat.
It's man, yeah?
Yep, that's right. And the camera, just without cutting off your hair. So the camera is over there. The red line.
Yeah.
Good. Welcome to Fishburner. I haven't met you here before. Is this the first time here?
It is not my first time. I actually used to be a resident in the middle of COVID.
When was it?
2020.
2020. All right. So sorry, I haven't talked to you before.
That's okay.
I like your presentation.
Thank you.
So tell me more about the two aliens.
The two aliens. So imagine you have an alien race coming to visit Earth in 2 years.
Yep.
What would you do? What would you do, man?
Plan for my exit. Maybe I get killed, or maybe I being taken away to the next planet.
That's a good answer, to be honest.
Yep.
The reason being is we are going to be visited by an alien intelligence very soon.
Yep.
And we should be preparing for it now.
Yep, that's right. Do you think the people are preparing for it, or are they sort of hide themselves or sort of cover the ear from the reality about the aliens that you were talking about?
I think people are spending very little time on this problem.
But we are talking about ChatGPT or AI as an alien species. But if I'm not wrong, ChatGPT services has the fastest technology adoption ever seen in human history.
Yes.
Does it show that actually people are getting onto it, and just like tonight that we are talking about it, is a sign that some people are getting into it and want to know more about it?
I mean, most definitely. I think that's if I was going to use the alien analogy one more time, it would be that the spaceship is arriving faster than we even thought it would.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. When is your next talk? You mentioned that you recently gave a talk to Microsoft people.
Yeah.
All right. When is the next talk? People can find out and hear about your opinion and your insight in this space.
Yeah. Cheers for bringing that up, man. So we're running the association, which I'm a director of, along with a bunch of other people.
What's the name of the association?
The Data Science and AI Association of Australia.
Okay.
So the DSAi, we're going to be running an event on AI safety on the 27th of April.
27th
the
of April.
CTO
That's
of
2 weeks away.
Correct.
Yep.
The CTO of Microsoft, Lee Hicken, is coming to talk on AI safety.
Global or Australia?
APAC. So
Asia Pacific CTO of Microsoft.
Correct.
He is probably one of the person closest to the implementation of
in our part of the world. Correct.
OpenAI. Yeah.
Correct. He has the inside scoop on what's going on over there.
Fantastic.
And then we have other leaders in the field. Eugene Dubasowski, he's a leader of the data science meetup here in Sydney too. He'll be throwing in his 10 cents.
Fantastic. And for those of you who is watching this video, discover this video maybe a week later, maybe 3 weeks later, follow the link in the description. I'll get the link from Paul and put it down there, and you will...
If I can have one more opportunity.
Sure, go for it.
We are running a GPT hackathon on the 12th to the 14th of May.
Okay.
It's going to be run at UTS Startups.
Okay,
which
fantastic.
Fishburners has a lot to do with UTS.
Of course.
I think you guys grew out of UTS.
Yep, of course. We grew together.
Together, correct.
Together, exactly. Yes.
We're really looking forward to that.
At Harris Street.
Harris Street, correct.
608 Harris Street.
Correct, yeah,
UTS
Startups,
yep.
correct.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So everyone's welcome to come along to that.
Yep.
18 to 80 is the age range. As long as you have a good idea, we're looking for programmers, we're looking for artists, we're looking for designers, we're looking for journalists. If you have a good idea, come along. We'd love to have you.
Fantastic. And specifically using GPT model or using other AI models?
So the goal is to use generative technologies.
Okay, generative technologies.
We have actually got sponsorship from OpenAI itself.
Oh, fantastic.
We got credits approved today. So the hope is to use OpenAI models, but you can deploy them on Azure as well. So what that means is you don't have to send your data to them. You can send your data to your own local instance. Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah. Local Azure instance, not your local PC.
Yeah, your data doesn't have to go to America. Your data can stay in Australia.
All right.
Very important for businesses.
Interesting. So every one of you, if you watch this video before 10th of May. 12th of May is the event, but before 10th of May they have to think through it and jump onto the hackathon.
You got it.
UTS Startup.
That's it, mate.
Thank you, Paul, so much for spending time with us.
Cheers, man.
For those of you who have missed Paul's 10.5-minute presentation, then I thank him.
He knows.
I thank you. Yes, of course. Go to link in the description below to discover the panel conversation and Paul's presentation to find out more before you catch Paul in his next public speaking.
Cheers, man. Appreciate it, man.
Welcome.
Thank you. Cheers, man.
Good to see you. Let's go to our sponsor message, then we will find Daniel. We are live. The red light is the camera.
I see it.
Yeah, we go uncut, go straight to YouTube.
Excellent.
And we don't edit it, trim it, so we look after ourselves.
That sounds good.
Daniel, welcome to Fishburner.
Thank you for having me.
First time here? Or you've been here before?
I've been here before. There was another event for Galileo.
But I haven't seen you on stage before, or have I?
Galileo Ventures did an event here, I think last year or maybe so.
Okay, you were on stage.
And I was on stage then, yeah.
Pitching or judging? I can't remember.
It was just a discussion of the some of the portfolio companies of Galileo, and we're one of their portfolio companies, so we were having a little discussion.
That's right. It was a Galileo demo or portfolio night or something like that. Now I remember. Okay. So Relevant AI. Tell everyone more about it. What Relevant AI is doing?
So Relevance AI is basically dev tooling for large language models. We make it easy for our customers to use GPT and build better products with it.
Yep.
Because one of the challenges at the moment is large language models are very useful,
Yep.
but they become exponentially more useful when you can combine them in multiple steps.
Yep.
So you might have one step that does a database query,
Yep.
and that response gets injected into a large language model prompt,
Yep.
whose response is then injected into another API request,
Yep.
and then that response is fed into another large language model prompt.
Yep.
And so that's how you can build lots of useful use cases, from generating SQL to answering complex documentation and all sorts of things. And our customers basically use us to create what we call chains or AI
Yeah.
workflows,
Yeah.
and then surface that as an API that they can then deploy into their own product.
Yeah. So, in our typical consumer experiment with ChatGPT, it is only one layer of model. So it is, I come up with my prompt and then I get a result. But then what you describe is actually one model specific for preparing a prompt for the next level, for the next level, for the next level. How long is the chain?
As long as you want it to be.
As long as you want.
So some of what Paul talked about today at his keynote was those concepts of agents.
Yep,
So
that's right.
if we think of those agents, they're really just essentially recursive chains. It's a chain that calls itself at the end and keeps running and going. And each time it starts, it says, what should I do next?
Yep.
And it looks up its list of tasks.
Yep.
It executes that task. And then it feeds the output of that action into itself again. And it just keeps repeating. So realistically, chains can be as long as you want them. They can be as complex as you want.
Yeah.
Right now, we're at a stage in its infancy where people are getting used to it. So obviously the chains are a little bit shorter. But we're not far off from people creating, really all sorts of wild applications by going.
So out of your industrial use case, you obviously have some corporate client and commercial user already.
Yeah.
How many layer of model do they use?
So
In a non-confidential example that you can share more?
so typically I'll work you through one really common use case, and that's helping companies ask questions of their data. So that's the first step. The first layer is extracting the most relevant data to that question from your knowledge base, feeding that into a prompt, and then outputting an answer. That's like the most basic use case, which is 2 steps.
Yeah.
And then you have other ones which maybe are 3 to 4 steps. And the most complex one would be no more than 10 to 15 steps. So at the moment, most of our customers would have 4 or 5 steps, and that's when they start, I guess, seeing a lot of value from using large language models. It's when you can take what you do on a one-to-one basis with ChatGPT and deploy it as a chain that can run with an input to an output many, many times. So we have even people who automate internal tooling with that, because they have someone at the moment writing into ChatGPT, copy and pasting a prompt, changing some stuff and hitting enter. Well, with us, they can create that as a template, and then anyone in their team can now run that chain by just putting in an input into a form and getting the output that they desire. So it's just essentially about taking this very manual process of ChatGPT and putting it into a process.
Yeah. But then actually, like a lot of typical process, when the expertise of maintaining the process working is an art form.
Yeah.
It's a very, very delicate skill. And then in some cases, suddenly the whole chain not working because one of the assumption in one of the stage somehow is broken.
Yeah.
Maybe the data set change, maybe the typo error in some of the upper stage. So how will that affect the skill set change of next generation of process engineer? They are not AI, and what would be the job title of that type of person?
Yeah, I mean, look, I believe that tools are created for people, not the other way around.
Exactly.
And so I think our job as creators of products is to build tooling that is appropriate for the people that use it.
Exactly.
And so I actually think that a lot of operations people or automations, process type personas, they're going to be the ones who are consuming products like this.
Yeah.
And our goal is, to build a product that is native to them, usable in a way they wanted to use it, not a highly technical product. So at the moment, we target technical people because that's our first layer. But as we move down the chain, we want to open that possibility up to all skill sets.
Yeah. There were 2 examples mentioned on stage during tonight's panel conversation, which is very relevant. One example, it was one of the big banks in Australia still have maintained a team of experts running some old Fortran code because that code that old software on an old computer is still translating data with some legacy system that they cannot get rid of. And in my corporate background, I have seen case after cases that people are still staying on the job because in that company, they are the only person able to maintain that good, old, reliable Excel macro spreadsheet. So will that happen in the AI world? At this stage, your 15-layer model chain is working, but there is only one guy know how to keep that whole chain not wobbling. Would that happen?
I mean, look, if we're gonna take history as an example, probably there's always going to be legacy and it's always going to be baked in. But I think the change that's going to happen now, though, is technology is going to become more accessible.
Yeah.
So Fortran and all these legacy technologies, they're very inaccessible to the majority of people. But I think what we're going to see happen more now is...
Isn't it the same? AI at the moment, the ability to code or link up multiple layers of AI is although it's getting bigger and bigger, but it's still kind of so advanced that maybe only a couple of thousand people around the world know what is happening.
I mean, absolutely on specific situations that it's close.
Right. Yeah.
But let's say for example, in our case where we build these chains, we're already working on ways to build those chains with natural language. You just say what you want, and you let the AI build all those steps.
Yeah.
So I think more and more product companies are going to think of it this way. I think even the way we actually train large language models today, that might become a much more simple process in the future, because you might again have AI assisting in that process.
That's right.
So I think if I was to identify one paradigm shift in technology that's happening, is that we're moving into an environment where AI is going to assist in all of these processes. How much it'll assist will be a spectrum, but it's going to assist, and that assistance will alleviate some of the current pain, and some of the current pain is maintaining legacy systems. So that's probably the shift that I'm most confident will happen. But who knows in the space, really. It's week on week, it's progressing at crazy paces, and I think we're really lucky to get to live through it, to be honest.
Any new insight from tonight when you're discussing with other experts on stage? Any new thing that you think, that's a very good point and good idea?
Honestly, the biggest insight I think I got was from the attendees. I think.
All right, from the participant.
Yeah, the chats I had afterwards. I think what it showed to me is there's a really big appetite for people to learn how to adapt, and I think that's probably the story of today. It's how do we adapt with AI, and judging by the people in this room, and their first reaction is not necessarily panic, it's gonna get rid of me. Maybe it was. Maybe they've gone past that.
Maybe for those who want to panic, they won't come to this event because this is a scary event.
But the people here, their attitude was very much like, many people say, how can I optimize using this right now to create even more value? And I think that's probably, hopefully, going to be the story of the next decade. It's using AI to create even more value. And it's not necessarily going to replace people as a whole. It's just going to change the system that we operate in. But I think that to me is really encouraging, and we need builders. Honestly, we need people to build and create. And as long as we keep doing that, I think we'll always find ways to be valuable in many different ways.
As a startup business, obviously you are hungry for growth. What and who could be your next ideal client that you want to see your technology or your services helping them, their business, to grow further? What is your target audience?
Our number one target audience at the moment are essentially product companies. If you're
product company, that's too broad. More specific, please.
Well, our number one goal and our mission as a company is to help product companies build better products with AI. And so tech companies in particular building SaaS software are a real sweet spot for us, because they can grab our API and put it into their product and deploy it to thousands of their customers. And that to us is an amazing use case, because we've saved the SaaS company, our customer, we've saved them heaps of time in having to build and integrate with all these systems. We've made that very accessible to them. We've got customers that have deployed in less than a week with us.
And from feature ideation to production. Implementation.
Yes.
To roll out to real user.
Yeah, I mean, we had a conversation today with someone who they wanted to build a Bing AI style tool which would search the internet and then feed it into a prompt, and then give you back the response with references.
Yep.
And we showed them how you could build a chain, and their reaction was, wow, so I can just now give this API to my front-end developer, and they can implement it next week. And that's exactly what we want to do. We want to work with companies that are building, fascinating software for fascinating use cases, and we want to help empower them take the leap into AI, and make it really just not scary, make it really simple and easy, in a way they understand as traditional software, but with extreme value. Because the stuff you can build with AI now could take you months and months of engineering.
Now, when you find that customer, are you hiring people?
What do you mean?
Do you need people? Do you need to hire young graduate software engineer or smart young people ready to jump into the AI talent pool?
So
with you?
Yeah, we've actually We've been hiring a lot over the last year, and
fantastic.
At the moment we're not hiring as intensely, but what we're really looking to do is have people use our technology. So we're about to launch some bounties and hackathon style things where we're going to give prize money for people to build chains with relevance and ship products.
Use case, okay.
And so that's something that, if young people out there are looking to build and create.
So you mean using your platform to build some templates that could be used by your clients?
Either by our clients, or they can build into their own product and launch into the internet. And we'll basically have some bounties to encourage those sort of programs, because I came from a background of building. When I was at uni, I was just building and launching stuff. And I think that's one of the most valuable skill sets that people can have. And I'm really excited for that next generation of builder to show me what they can build at Relevance, because they're going to blow our minds, I think, more than what we could even imagine.
Are you raising capital?
We will be later this year, yes.
We'll be later. So we are now early April of 2023. So during third quarter, fourth quarter.
Over the next 6 to 8 months, we'll be going out to raise. Right now, number one focus for us is just to get more pans onto this, because the appetite for building with AI is huge. People want to put into their products, and we want to make sure we're always in the conversation.
Fantastic.
Because I feel confident if we're in the conversation, it's likely to progress from there.
Fantastic. So for those of you who discover this video, want to find out what Paul has shared with us on stage with other panelists, go to link in the description below to discover the conversation. Watch the video, that on Fishburners Founders Hub. And also link in the description below to find out what Relevant AI is doing with Daniel.
Sounds good, thank you.
How big is the team at the moment?
20 people.
20 people already, fantastic. Funded by Galileo so far.
Galileo, Archangel, both out of Australia, and Insight Partners out of the US.
Fantastic, well done. And we say bye and see you next time at Fishburner Live. Bye.
All the people that are watching online. I believe we have people from England, Israel, the US.
Okay, my name's Alex. I'm the founder of Fishies.
First-hand dramatic impact of climate change.
We will send a read-only copy.
Please jump on here, send us. For all the people that are watching online. I believe we have people from England, Israel, the US.
Okay, my name's Alex. I'm the founder of Fishies.
First-hand dramatic impact of climate change.
We will send a read-only copy.
Please jump on here, send us.